Who is this? Chloe Grace Moretz married Kate Harrison over Labor Day. You know something? This is funny because I interviewed Chloe Grace Moretz when she was like about 9 years old, man. Uh, we were we were at Comic Con. I think she was. Now that's the chick that's in Kick Ass. That's it, Kick Ass. Chloe Grace Moretz married Kate Harrison over Labor Day.
Oh, very nice.
I wish them the best over there. I was just talking about how I interviewed Chloe Grace Moretz when she was like about 9 or 10 years old. She was about to be in that movie Kick Ass. You remember Kick Ass?
Okay.
She was Hit Girl.
Okay. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah. Now you know Hit Girl.
Yeah.
Now if I make it nice and nerdy for you, now you know. Right? But she was Hit Girl. I remember interviewing her, and I remember at 9 years old, I said, "Girl, you can be a lesbian." And lo and behold, man, boy, my lesbian senses were tingling, and they were right.
Congrats? I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that.
No, congrats to me and to her, man. No, it was funny because, and I'm not saying that, gay people can't be religious or anything like that, but at the time, even, she was so conservative sounding. She was talking about church, and I'm being serious about this. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but when I was asking her about how it is to be in this movie Kick-Ass, I think that was her first role. Maybe it wasn't, but it was her first major role for her.
Sure.
And I was asking her, I said, wow, you're getting this at a very young age, and this is really cool that you're in this cool movie. And I said, man, there's but for a young girl like you, there's a lot of adult stuff in there. And she's like, well, I just, I make sure that Jesus knows that it's just a movie, and I pray about this. Okay. And that's when I said, girl, you're going to be a lesbian.
Okay. You know what?
I didn't say it out loud.
Having that context, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I didn't say it out loud. I was like, girl, yeah, okay. Yeah, you and Jesus, all right.
Mm-hmm. It's either going to be gay or like the most aggressive homophobe you've ever met in your life.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. They either, they're going to turn against Hollywood, and, they're going to turn to like Kirk Cameron, start making shitty Christmas movies and faith-based related films. Yeah, no, she's. But I never knew. I'm sitting up here joking. I did not know that she was actually a lesbian, but that's cool. That's cool. They look very happy. It's funny when you see these young actors, man, when they grow up. And there's been a few that I have interviewed and seen them become adults. The kid that played Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting, man. Because they're so innocent and young, and you see them become people, and some of them become people with problems.
Yeah.
You see them, become alcoholics and shit. It's like it's sad, but I'm not saying that dude is. What is it, Frankie Muniz? Frankie Muniz. Yeah, he was in a movie about a dog, and I remember interviewing him, and he was just this little kid who was so friendly and so I couldn't tell who the dog was, him or the actual dog. He was like a little puppy.
Yeah.
Frankie Muniz. Yeah, he was so nice, and he was he's a cute kid. Let me see here. Frankie Muniz. Yeah, and he's a man now. Oh, let me see. Frankie Muniz. Yeah, there you go. This boy, you talk about something that make your ass feel old. I just feel the life being dripped out my ass right now because I interviewed this kid when he was like around, he must have been like 11 years old. I don't even think he was a teenager yet.
Shit, how old is he now?
You had to ask, didn't you?
Yeah.
That fool's almost 40 years old, man.
Jesus.
He's 39. He's 39 years old. And yeah, he was, at the time I interviewed him, he was sitting in a chair. His feet wouldn't even touch the ground. They were just dangling like little Muppet legs. Trying to think who else, man. Oh, some people I interviewed when they were teenagers. And let me see. This guy got into some trouble. But he ended up being what was that movie, y'all? Y'all gotta tell me. I'm tired. But what was that movie about that dude that went to the woods and thought he could go out there with no skills and end up dying like a week later? It was based on a true story.
Oh fuck.
It was a fool that went out to the. He thought he was trying to be. Bless his heart, he was trying to be. Somebody said the road.
The road.
No.
That's a completely different fucking movie.
Speed Racer. Yeah, that's it.
I got people just
That's it. Speed Racer. Into the Wild was
Okay.
it. But I don't know why they think of Speed Racer. And man, behind the scenes, when they're that young, that's how you know that they got real talent because they act young.
Yeah.
They act fucking young. They act like kids. Like he was like, while we wait for them to set up, he was just making jokes and shit and just laughing and. It's like it was nothing, man. It's only when they become adults and get real professional, like get an ego working in the business. Because I've seen some people, man, I've seen them flip when they become I'm not gonna even name the actor, and I'm not saying I even knew this person, but there was an actor who I interviewed him when he was very young, and then he got into his early 20s, and I'm sure he's a much better person. He's an amazing actor, but he was a fucking prick.
Oh,
At the time, I think he was drunk when I interviewed him.
Jesus, okay.
And when I say a prick, man, I can't really say that he was mean, but he was just, he just didn't want to answer questions, and he was just kind of, I think he was drunk, and he was kind of full of himself. He was singing Beastie Boys while I was trying to interview him. Yeah, I'm not gonna name this guy's name because I'm sure he's a really cool person now, but he was just a young guy who was just partying. He was a fucking prick, man. I've interviewed people a couple of times, and I've seen them when, they were kind of assholes, and then later they were really nice people. And then I've seen some people who have been really cool, like people who have just hung out with us. I'm not gonna even say who this actor is, but there was one guy that I hung out with for like an hour and a half at a party, and I wasn't even like following this person. Like I walked out to some side room, and he was there, and I was like, oh, sorry, man. He's like, oh no, come on in, man. And we talked for about an hour and a half. And I don't think he probably was drunk too, but I saw him later. I went over there and I said, "Hey man, what's going on? We hung out at that party downtown. We talked for a long time." He's like, "Yeah, nice, good to see you again." And sent me on my way.
Like, I don't remember shit. Get out of my house.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck you are. He gave me that smile. I'd rather you not smile at all than give me that fucking smile. I'd rather you just tell me to fuck off.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving me that smile. That smile is like, yeah, fuck you. And that smile that's just like, just showing you how they have just, it's not enough to just brush you off, but they want to let you know just how much disdain they have for how you mean nothing to them.
How dare you approach me?
Yeah, it was just, it was like, that smile like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's like, I'd rather you just tell me to get the fuck out of here.
Feel like, yeah, I don't remember, man. I'm sorry.
And that guy is an amazing actor. Everybody knows him. But that's what I said, man. You know what? I don't get starstruck by a lot of people to begin with, and I'm not a star chaser, star fucker. I'm not a sycophant. I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm an admirer of people's work, and I don't want to bother people. So I already man, it's one of those things where it's like I brought my defenses down. I made myself vulnerable to this person. And went over there just simply just say hello, and that was a great conversation. I wouldn't even take his time. And yeah, he just totally just gave me, he might as well just turn me around, kick me in my ass. And I said, hey man, it's great to see you again. We have to good to see you. Thanks, all right.
Oh, okay.
I was like, all right, fuck.
That's rough.
And it sucks because I love this actor and I see him all the time. But every time I see a movie or a show he's in, I just see that fucking smile.
That was going to be my next question. If any of these interactions make it harder to enjoy certain people's performances.
You get mad, after a while you get over it. It's like, whatever. It's just, it's because I'm not mad at the person. It's just this feeling of embarrassment. Because I didn't even want to, I'm not going to say I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to bother that person, but obviously I did.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you just catch people at like a wrong moment. But it's hard not to take that shit personally where you're like, I fuck you too. Yeah, man. And that's when I said I'm really not going to bother anybody. So when I see celebrities out in public, even if I think that they know me, I have to really, really know them, or they're gonna have to come say hi to me, which which they won't. But there's been a couple that have done that. They've been like, hey, Korey, what's going on? I've seen them somewhere, and I thought that was cool. I don't bother anybody anymore. That was a lesson for me.